I'm here with Dasia Thornton, who will embark on a journey to the beautiful country of Albania. But before she does that, we're gonna talk for a bit, I guess. So the first question I have is, why did you pick Albania out of all the countries in Europe?
Yeah, I had a few different offers elsewhere, and I just felt that Albania was the best fit for me right now. Um, I didn't really know much, but my senior year, I wrote a paper about my senior thesis on Yugoslavia and the downfall. So I had to write about the whole history of Yugoslavia and those countries and Albania as well.
Really? What got you like interested in the Balkans?
Well, I'm an international relations major,
Hmm.
so I'm interested in the world and world politics and different things like that. Um, and I just like Eastern Europe and the Balkans. It's just a different lifestyle, and I like to enjoy and learn about other lifestyles.
Sure. And weren't you tempted to go to Romania instead of Albania because of the fact that you studied at Transylvania? So it would be like logical to take the next step and, play professional ball in Romania. No.
Well, maybe, but Albania is better fit.
Okay. What do you know about your team and the league? Do you know anything about it? Did you get like any info from the team?
I got a little bit of info. I saw that they've been doing good in the past few seasons, and they want to win another national or another championship. So I'm excited, and I know that it's a different league. I'm not sure the other teams that play in the league, but I'm
Hmm.
excited. Anyway.
Okay. And when are you leaving, if I may ask?
Within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, okay, okay. And so I want to take a step back now and ask you about your basketball beginnings. So, how did you get into basketball?
Yeah, so I started kind of late to basketball. I started in 8th grade. I started playing. Um, and then I played at a really small high school, so I didn't get much exposure, and we couldn't really get all the way to state, so I didn't win any state or championships like that. And then I got recruited to play at Transylvania, and it's in Lexington, and it's a basketball town. UK is right down the street, and most people know them, but Transy's there too, and we brought the national championship to Lexington. Uh, 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago.
And when did you have a moment when you were convinced that basketball was the thing for you? Was it one particular moment or a sequence of events?
Um, well, in high school, I had to choose between basketball or softball because I was pretty good at softball too, and I decided basketball was that time, so I decided I wanted to lock in and kind of focus on the one sport, and I just developed and got better, but I don't think there was one particular time. I'm just happy about all the experiences that it's brought me along the way.
Sure. And you're also pretty good at Taekwondo. You're like a black belt, the first
Yeah.
degree black belt still, right?
Yes.
And how did the martial art affect you physically and mentally? Maybe let's start with the physical aspect.
Yeah, so I started when I was about 6, and I kind of went until about junior junior year of high school. So it was 3 days a week, and we would go work on footwork, kicking, different sparring techniques and stuff like that. So it kind of helped me with footwork for one, and just that overall staying in shape, stretching out every day, and creating that flexibility that is you can use it in every sport.
And was it an extracurricular activity or was it
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, it was outside of everything, and me and my brother grew up doing it.
Okay. And is And what about the mental aspect? Do you follow they're like, I think, five tenets, right? Or just five rules of Taekwondo. So do you follow them as well or try to practice them?
Yeah, the 5 tenets is something that we talked about every class. We either focused on one or talked about all of them as a whole. But they kind of taught us to, use it in everyday life because it's something that you can use. Patience, determination, responsibility, all of those things you can use. And they just were showing us that you can apply it in every situation, whether that be in Taekwondo, whether that be at school, at home. So it was
Okay.
use it still today.
Okay. And I also want to ask you about the Montessori teaching method.
Hmm.
And because it had a huge influence on your decision when it came to picking your school.
Hmm.
So how influential was the method? And how did it help you study
Yeah,
or just achieve what you eventually achieved so far, obviously?
right. I think I recommend it to everyone. I say put your kid in Montessori, whether that just be kindergarten or all the way through. It's a very hands-on learning, and it creates um, like you have an open mind to everything. You're around and exposed to many different things, cultures, experiences, and you kind of learn how to not judge people and kind of, um, I don't know, you just live with an open mind. Like you kind of see all the different perspectives that there might be.
And is it possible if you were taught in the Montessori system to like switch back to a regular education system? Did you try that, or you were just so convinced that the method was so good that you weren't even attempting at just trying something else?
Yeah, my parents put us in it and since kindergarten or preschool actually, and we've done it since all the way till we graduated. So I've never had the outside experience or non-Montessori, I guess, until college. Um, and definitely see a difference, and I definitely see differences in people that I've been around, just on their perspective. But I recommend it. I've never really done the regular learning, but a lot of people that have, they say that Montessori is a lot different and it kind of changes you.
Yeah, so it's like impossible to just switch between the two, probably, right? Super
Right.
hard. Yeah. And why did you decide to major in international relations? You already told us a bit about like the Balkans, your interest
Mhm.
in the Balkans. So what like ignited that passion for international relations?
So when I was younger, I always told people I wanted to be a foreign language interpreter. I wanted to learn every language in the world and, um, be able to speak to everyone. But then someone told me, like, you should go bigger, think bigger. And they basically were like, why don't you want to be president? And ever since then, I was like, yeah, I think I want to be president. So I've lived my life thinking that I'm going to be president, knowing that I'm going to be president eventually. So I study international relations so I can know politics in the world happenings. So yeah, I'm still kind of on that track to become president, but I wanted to play basketball while I still could.
Okay. And have you heard and see the world, obviously, and
Right.
like see what you've been taught in practice, right?
Right.
Any plans on moving to Spain in the future since you minored in Spanish?
Spain, more, I think I'm more interested in Latin American countries, more the Caribbean, like the Dominican Republic. I've been there before and I loved it. But Latin America, Spain, I would go to Spain too. Why not?
Okay. And in college, you were. This question probably ties into what you said just a moment ago about being president, because in college you were involved in the Black Student Alliance, the Muslim Student Alliance. So, why is activism so important for you?
For me, it's just, having a voice. There was a point in time where people like me, people like a lot of different people weren't able to have a voice, whether that be because of your race, your gender, your class. A lot of people don't think about that there's many different disenfranchised groups throughout the years. Um, so being able to speak and fight for what you believe in is really important for me. Um, just because there was a time that it wasn't possible for many different people.
And when you studied international relations, did you see the hardships that other people went through? And could you apply them to what was happening in the States as well? Did you see like a common thread or common threads happening?
Yeah, definitely. Whether it comes from immigration, you have immigration in the States, immigration in Europe, it looks a lot different. The way that we handle it is a lot different than many different countries in Europe. And I think it's interesting to look at those and to see what worked, what didn't work, and to try to apply that. But because of different things in the government, maybe that doesn't want to be, that's not the case. They don't want to apply it. But it's interesting to look at and how different countries, you know, act
Mhm.
in their own as their own selves.
Yeah. And in high school, you also were awarded the Dick Snyder Sportsmanship Award. It was
Mhm.
a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
2017. Uh, I know nothing about the award, so I just wanted to know, is it a big deal? And do you get it for one particular event or just the way you conduct yourself on and off the court?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a all conference thing. So there was 10 teams in our conference and they have one for each sport or maybe each season. So like one fall sport athlete will get the award. Um, and I got it that year. It's not necessarily a big deal, but I take every award as a big deal just because I'm grateful to be awarded it or to
Yeah.
someone to see that in me and think to nominate me.
Okay. Let's talk basketball for a moment, just for a moment then. In 2023, your team is unbeaten and you guys win the championship. So I wanted to ask you about, how does a D3 championship game look like and how does it differ from a D1 game?
Yeah, so actually that year it was a combined, so we had Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. So we got to see the final 4 games of the Division 1 and the championship as well. And then we played our championship game, so it was kind of, because it was combined, we all got to experience basically what the D1 got to do, and that was one of the best experiences in my life, just being able to walk the runway and to be around other athletes and just to get that notoriety, going to the White House. That's more things that you'll see at a D1 level. But being D3, it was awesome experience. The next year we went to the Final Four and we definitely saw the difference with just a D3 and a combined event or just a D1 event. Um, and we definitely saw that there's a lot of differences between both. So, but grateful for both experiences either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being a champ is
Yeah.
always great, right? Regardless of just like the circumstances. I want to ask you also about the leap that you made in your college career, because at the beginning you are averaging, I think, like, was it eight, something around 8 minutes per game, but
Right.
then next season you progressed to 18 minutes, and finally 2021, 2022, you're finally the starter and you're playing 30 minutes per game, right? So did something happen during the summer of 21 that propelled you to just new heights physically, or did you change your approach?
I think it was more of coaching and changing of like who was on the team. My freshman year, we had a lot of seniors, and the seniors were good, and we had to learn the system. So a lot of freshmen don't play because you have to learn the system. So we got to watch and learn, and then eventually start playing there or get in a few times. Then COVID happened, So then everybody was kind of in and out. You didn't know if you would play because if you were exposed to COVID, you have to wait 10 days to come back. And it was a whole deal. So a lot of people's minutes went up and down, but that was my big growth period because we never knew when we were going to have a game because all the other teams might cancel. So we're always practicing. And so kind of COVID and after that, that's when I got a lot better. I just kind of focused in and realized that you can't take every game for granted. And then that helped us win the championship, taking each game by game. So,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. And the last question I have is, what are your expectations for this season in Albania? Is it just to showcase your abilities? Is it to just because it's, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but in Europe it's generally very hard for American players to stay on the same team. Year after year they just switch teams all the time. I don't
Hmm.
really know why it happens. It's hard to grow roots for some reason, but also teams probably don't make it easy for the players as well. So it's like a double-edged sword. So I wanted to ask you, what are your expectations entering this season once you finally go to Albania?
Yeah, I'm really excited to meet all of my teammates, build that bond. Going out in the community, I would love to see all of Tirana and all of Albania and, you know, just, you know, build that connection with the country. Um, for the actual basketball, I expect to win a lot. I'm known for winning, and I I think that we'll have a good chance to win. I saw the team; they look very prepared, and I saw the other foreign athletes that are going to come over, and I'm just excited. So I have big expectations for the team, and I know that we'll make it pretty far.
And I hope you will achieve that as well. So thank you for the conversation, and I will be probably people who follow women's basketball in Europe will probably be
Mhm.
watching too. So thank you for finding the
Okay,
time, and good luck in Albania. Hope you enjoy it.
thank you. Sorry
Thank
it took
you.
so long.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so thank you. Bye.
Bye.